Bum, 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 bum. Hey everyone, you're watching Ash on Comics. My name's Ash, and here's today's comic. Action Comics 1004 by Brian Bendis, Ryan Sook, and... take a peek here. Oh, Brad Anderson. I got the full art cover, as you can see, even though the regular art cover is better. And a really nice picture of Superman flying in the clouds with over a flock of geese, kind of looking down at him. And it was a foil cover, and it was just really well composed. I really wanted to get it, but I have this compulsive deal where if I'm buying one kind of cover like this, the full arts, I just want to stay this way. I don't want to alternate. I shouldn't worry about it. And plus, something told me, I was like, oh, I'm kind of pissed off at this whole story with Clark and Lois. And if this turns out really bad, the fact that this covers like this will be even more roast-worthy. So, yeah, that's where we stand. Speaking of roast-worthy, you want to see something cringy? That's the cover of West Coast Avengers #4. For the love of... oh my god. Alright, well, you see that, and all of a sudden Superman doesn't look so bad. Alright, so we open up with the typical, like they always do here with Action Comics. Don't know why Superman doesn't do this, but whatever. It's kind of neat. It kind of gives you a way of, well, maybe not. It should kind of give you a way to fill in what's going on. It's actually just a full art page of nothing the more I think about it. Speaking of nothing, so here we have, it's Lois's desk, I'm pretty sure. We see like lipstick there, that's how it is. At first I thought it was Clark's desk, but it's Lois. And here she is, writing something on her computer. What if we took these 3 simple ideas, truth, justice, and the American way. These simple, elegant ideas that seem almost cliche in today's climate. We turn them into a North Star, not just for who we are as a country, but what we aspire to be in the future. Regardless of political affiliation, truth no longer stands as a universal concept everyone agrees on. Justice often only serves some, not all of our citizens, as the nightly news shows day after day. The American way, the simple idea that anyone can come here and be treated equally, is challenged at the highest level of government. Trump, am I right? Trump. Even if everything were to rewind back to normal, by the time you read this, which it won't, but even if it did, these ideas have been so abused and manipulated that the healing, the attempt to find our compass in this modern age will take years. We're lucky to have someone like Superman who believes in these concepts as a religion. He believes truth, justice, and the American way are ideas worth fighting and even dying for one day. But there's only so much the Man of Steel can do for truth. There's only... and it goes out there. And you're going to wonder, why did I bother reading all that? Well, number one, I just wanted to show you. This is the Bendis people feared. This is when Bendis would take interviews and talk about how he was going to fundamentally change Superman for the modern age and, you know, change what truth, justice, and the American way stood for. Here's your first evidence. Right? This is Lois Lane basically proselytizing to you, the reader, about politics and, you know, in this case, immigration, and it's just straight up, without saying so, this is Trump. This is a lady, by the way, who has ex-President Lex Luthor's phone number on her laptop, who's literally a supervillain. But it's Trump that's actually bad. Even Lex Luthor would be preferred over Trump, am I right? Am I right? Fucking nonsense. This is a lady who took her husband's kid off into space against his wishes, then returned secretly and didn't tell him. And she's wondering, should I tell my husband I'm back? Should I? Should I tell him? Or should I just hide in a wig? And what kind of person does this? Bendis is literally changing Lois Lane to make her a character we should hate. All right. On to other parts of the book, because, believe it or not, the rest of the book isn't so bad. This book's actually better than the last issue, and if you haven't seen my review of last issue, you really should. It is... I was too kind. I wish I would have roasted it harder. It's just so much bad in that book. The Red Cloud. You mean Red Tornado? Witnesses said a red cloud, a murderous red cloud, is behind the recent Metropolis mob murders. Metropolis mob murders. You complete me, Kent. Groan. Any chance the witnesses mistook cloud for a tornado? Well, no. No! Maybe the Red Tornado is murdering all those underworld figures of Metropolis. That is an interesting story, but you may have just made it up. Did I? Alright, I'm not going to read everything to you, but you kind of get the point. Bendis writes the Daily Planet almost like a sitcom, and I kind of like it. The one thing that I think that he's done good for Superman comics, at least Action Comics, this doesn't happen in Superman, and he announced that he was going to do it, was breathe more life into the Daily Planet, introduce new characters, make it feel more a part of Superman's world. And I think that really works. I think one of the problems Superman has is his lack of depth as a person. Not that he himself doesn't have depth, but I mean depth, as a character. We don't get to see much else of his life. And one of the things that I think Tomasi did so fantastic and made me really fall in love with Superman, because I was always just halfway, I was like, Superman has the potential to be great, but he's super hard to write. And Tomasi, by adding the Jonathan Kent dynamic and showing Superman trying to be a father and trying to do something that his superpowers just can't automatically handle, it was charming, it was just compelling, and it made you get into the character's head and see who the person was more. Things that just fighting supervillains can't do. And seeing this sort of real life interaction, even though it's still fictional life, obviously, helps you feel the character more. And I really like it. And I do like the other characters, liking the characters makes ongoing stories fun, because you get to see the characters interact more often, and, you're all familiar. So we get to have the general Daily Planet stuff, which was fun and well done. And I was wrong about this girl. I kept calling her the gossip columnist. She's not. She has a nice little interaction about, are you feeling better? Better, Miss Good? You look better. Oh, you mean from the fainting? Yeah. And so you're like, is she on to him? What's going on? So, what you got over there? And they're talking, and Kent, he gets called into Perry White's office. This is the gossip columnist. So I apologize. Trish, Perry, what's going on? I have an update. I'd like a quote. And I'd like a quote, Mr. Kent. You can leave, Trish. I have this. I'd really rather stay. I'll do it. Give it to me. Update on what? Uh-oh. So, Lex Luthor, scene with... This is I'm going to nitpick here, but how did this shot... literally there would have to be a cameraman right in the hallway. Hi, Lois. I'm assuming maybe it's a security cam. Okay, well, whatever. Suspension of disbelief. Love this shot here. Let's see if I focus it on there. Yeah, by the way, not everyone else, but Zach always having problems focusing and stuff. The trick is just tap the camera on the area that you want it to focus on, and boom. I love this shot. Just dramatic. And the reflection in the glasses and the look in his eye. Props to you, Ryan Sook. This is understated art. Underappreciated. We always, we praise the big splash pages, that we see in Superman that Ivan Rice is doing. Look at this, amazing, all this stuff. That's great too. It's fun. That's something you want to pin up on the wall. But this is something not everyone can do. It's because you have to remember, it's not just the skill to draw this. It's the skill to compose it, to conceive it in your mind. This is white, paper. This has so much emotion in those eyes. anyways, I want to stick it all day on that, but I think you can judge for yourself from the picture. Your feelings first. Ambushed. Q out. Sorry they trained you like this at the times, but it's not how we speak to each other. And blah, 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 blah. They're talking. She gets pushed out. It's a story. And then Kent is looking, again, no comment here, just look in his eyes. We don't know what's going on in his head. But this is really well done. Whether or not you're interested in this story, whether or not you care, if you think this is good, how you want Superman or don't want Superman, the writing here, and not just the words. The writing is the layouts of each scene and how, how we look at the camera angle, essentially. And Ryan Sook does a great job of not leaving this flat. If you compare this to like Marvel Comics, it's all straight, dead on, no angles, boring. This feels like a camera's moving around, and you can almost, if you get into the book, your mind almost feels like images moving, and it feels cinematic. And I love it. I love this shot here, like she's halfway behind the door, it's being pushed on her. You can almost imagine the door closing in on her face as it's a story. These are little things that you don't notice sometimes, and sometimes you'll enjoy it, but you won't consciously think about it, and that's what makes great comics, in my mind. It's a tool. It's a part of what makes great comics. There's some great dialogue here between Clark and Perry. I love every part of this. The art is really getting me. Clark just disappears, though. Perry doesn't realize he's talking to himself, and he goes into a broom closet or something, supply closet, and he's a little distraught. He's taking off his tie slowly. This is kind of important, too, because, Superman, what you would imagine, just does this in a split second on a normal basis, but by taking an extra frame, we can see this as a man who's slowly pulling his tie off and doing this and contemplating. And then he sits down, takes his glasses off. Does it have a balcony? He kind of whispers to, who do we know? Then we move the page, and it's last night. And I like this set of shots, too. Like, here we have Superman flying, and then just that POV shot's really cool. The transition to night was a little bit weird to me, because I'm like, Superman can travel the Earth in, like, minutes. It's daytime to nighttime. Did you just, like, flying around all night, and then finally decides to settle down? Or maybe he's just flying all across the planet until he comes across... Maybe that's it. I didn't think about that. Maybe he's flying all over for hours, and then he finally finds Lois. I don't know. That's how I'm going to answer it. Because at first I thought he just had a straight destination he was going to. But he could have been just going from city to city or all across the city. Probably all across. So here we go. I asked for no pickles, Lois. And here she is in a wig, and it just blows off. Because that's what happens to wigs. And Superman shows up, is floating like, yo, like, what's the deal, yo? Perfect expression. Hi, honey. You have some answering to do, Lois. What's the deal? And Superman just looking at her and just takes her in his arms. And, I think a lot of guys will question this shot. I do. I look at it and go, you're a cuck, It's a strong word. It's probably overly harsh, but it's fitting to describe. He's very emasculated here. He should, right? But I think from a woman's point of view, it would probably look at this and just be like, oh, what a dreamboat. He just always understands and just takes her in his arms and kisses her because Superman deeply loves Lois. And there's nothing wrong with that. That Superman is sort of a perfect person, as much as you can be. He's the ideal. That's the type of archetype he is. So we kind of expect nothing less of Superman than to be great in all aspects, including super levels of understanding. So here we are, staring in their eyes. Hey, baby, how long have you been back? John is safe. Your father is an unbelievable piece of work. And I was not safe out there, so I came back. He didn't answer the question. What happened? You were right. It was deep outer space. I wasn't safe at all. And I was beginning to not make it safe for them. Why didn't you come home? No answer. Turning away. This is what people who are cheating on you act like, by the way. People are looking. It's like he wants to kiss her. Can I take you away? I have a room in town. Does it have a balcony? Baby, of course it does. Okay. This bothered me. First thing that bothered me. In the beginning, you go, oh, yeah, Superman. She's married to Clark Kent. Why is she kissing Superman? What? There are literally people on the street taking pictures. What is going on? Lois, she even knows there's people looking. He doesn't care. Why does he not care? I don't understand. I should understand something. It's one thing you want to write a mystery and go, that's interesting. I don't know where the plot is going. I don't know why Lois is back in town. Okay, that's fine. That's a mystery. This is just confusion. I do not understand what I'm seeing. And then this, I just don't feel is fitting in a Superman book. This is just cliche. This is a cliche transition to we see this all the time in movies and TV. Oh, just had wild, passionate sex. And while it's not unbelievable, A, it's super cliche. And B, that's not how, in my opinion, Superman readers want to think of Superman. Right? Yes, we know, obviously, Clark and Lois have sex and that they have a kid together. But that's not, Superman is not just a sex animal. Like, that's just, I don't know, that's just not how we think of the character. That's a pointless shot that we don't need, to think about. Superman is our ideal. Anyway, so he's just like, oh yeah, all drunk on love. So as I was saying, I lost our communication device in a battle with that creature that may or may not have destroyed Krypton. I knew it was something like that. Frustrated, I flew halfway to Titan to come find you. I figured something like that as well. But it was actually like looking for a needle in a haystack. Finally, a farming reference that makes sense and I can enjoy. It's like she's talking to Jonathan Kent. And he's just a cute little boy talking to mommy. And I'm not trying to make this sick. I feel like I'm getting into Bendis' head here, and I'm not liking what I'm seeing. Wow, maybe all this is worth it just for that. But John's okay? Like, now, after all this time, now you care about your son that you sat in his room for issue after issue? Now you care about your son? By the way, look at how many more panels. This is... Oh my goodness. Baby, he came alive. First of all, it's like he hit puberty the second we left orbit. What? Every fan's face right now. Oh. No! It was the best thing that ever happened to him. Your creepy father was right. John needed to get out there, and John did not need me. He did. Maybe he just needed you to follow him to get there, to get him started. I thought that too. I guess there's a version of pushing his bicycle. This is our version of pushing his bicycle along with him until he can pedal himself. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe? Because you never had a bicycle, and you only vaguely even know what one is. I've seen them around. I think Batman has one. Bat-themed. Why didn't you come home? Okay, I love this life we had. I chose to be a wife and a mother, and I regret nothing, but... Uh-oh. Every fan's face. Every fan's face. What the fuck are you talking about, bitch? No, uh-oh. All this recent crazy has revealed again that we're not, and never have been, and never will be anything close to a normal family. But what I do not know is why are we trying to act like we are? Normal rules, life rules do not apply to us on any level. We will not have a normal family responsibilities to each other or ourselves. And baby, that said, I need to write. Shouldn't you need to be a good wife to your husband and a good mother to your child? You selfish bitch. Now, for the first time in a long time, my son doesn't need me. My husband doesn't need me. And baby, I have a story to write. Oh, you feel like you're happy that your son doesn't need you and your husband. Like you just are like ball and chains lifted. I need you. I feel for you, Clark, man. I feel your balls are being just put in a vice right now. You don't need me. You want me. And that makes my entire universe. Bullshit. But stop. I need you. Love this. Ryan Sook, you are the fucking man. You captured this right. She looks in his eyes. Oh, what's going on? Oh, look, it was another sex scene. Well, implied sex scene. Great Caesars. Ghost. Hey, just so we're perfectly, totally, 100% clear, please. We're not breaking up. Oh, thanks for clearing that up. We just both have important work to do. I was on my way back thinking about all of this, and then I thought, if I'm running around and he's running around and normal doesn't apply, why are we fighting the tide? But I want things to be normal. Baby. Oh, you silly little baby. Oh. Hold on. Oh, Bendis. Look at, here's Bendis trying to give us a slice of life with Superman like he did in Superman. He's already done this before. Da-da-da. So Superman's got a doosh. And it's a nice spread, you know. Okay, we get it. You already did this to us, Bendis. New graphic novel collection. Stupid. Just waiting for my silly little husband to come back. Whew. What were we talking about? You were going to convince me how normal we are. Gotcha. We're going to figure out how to do this. But for now, I have to write. And you have to save everything you can get your hands on. Okay? You cutesy little boy, let me pinch your cheek. And John's really okay? Still speaking in the past, carrying over. Wouldn't I be here if you weren't? And here we see cucked Kent crying in a supply closet. Like he was in the beginning of Superman, or was the beginning of Act. I can't remember anymore. He's just moping about John for like 2 issues. Bendis has cucked Superman. Bam, bam! Gunshots. Ah! Oh, what? See, you think it's funny ruining my life? So here we go to a person who's now obviously Gossip Columnist posted something messing with her, and she's got a gun, and okay, yep, she's probably a Trump supporter. She's definitely white, And Perry comes out with a baseball bat. What are you doing, Perry? And then she's, words matter. You people don't understand. Whoosh, Superman. Is everyone all right? You seem to have really riled that poor woman up. She's going to take a time out now. Hello, everyone, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, nothing ever happened. And then she heard in jail, okay, I was at the Daily Planet. I have my gun. Oh, that's so funny. Like, cute. It's so cutesy humor. All right. So She'll be fine, blah, blah, blah. And this isn't terrible, and, you see this. And like I said before, Bendis kind of does this well, even though this is cutesy and I'm a little frustrated. Oh, the good old days. I know, right? And then Superman's back into half crying. So look at that. Let's see if we can focus here. Tears in his eyes. Bendis has cucked Superman. Never thought I'd see the day. So, here we get some stuff. Perry Mason wants him to check him for cancer. Oh, you're clear. Superman flies away, all sad face. Superman, my Lois and John are gone. My own newspaper. She's seeing the gossip column run on her. Yeah, you deserve this shit. Fucking bitch. My family? What family? You abandoned your family. Hey, I'm hiding from the world. Luther just showed up. What do you mean Luther just showed up? Oh yeah, last issue. Because Bendis is confusing the narrative completely. The end of last issue, Luther showed up. This is what the end of the last issue was. So, like, the narrative is all weird. How did he know you were here when even I didn't? Good question! I heard he's really smart. In fact, I think he told me that himself numerous times. Honestly, I expected you to be right behind him. If you were a real man, you would have been right behind him. Why don't you just put that in there? What did he want? He wanted to know if you'd do anything really embarrassing lately that he could use. Uh-huh. He heard about my book and was rightly concerned. What did you say? I said very frankly that I wasn't certain if he didn't go away, my husband would eventually drop kick him into the sun. Wow. And I really think everyone would be fine with it. That's sweet. Well, to be fair, I was Miss Big Talk because I thought you were right there somewhere. But you weren't, because you're not a real man. So did he? Or so did he. He left. He's smart. I feel a little like my old self again. Maybe I like this new us. Good, baby, because I think I need this. When do I get to read your book? Oh, it's not ready. Cat Grant already read it. What? Damn it. She really liked it. Oh, okay. Hey. Don't let go. I won't, Clark. Oh. Oh my God. So, Bendis just took Superman, made him a cuck, as I've been saying. And if you have any disagreements with that term, I'm not just using it to be like shock value or whatever. There's actually meaning behind what it is, and I don't have a better descriptor that I could really use. Superman's balls have been cut off. He's not a man. He's been emasculated. He's not a husband. He's not taking control of his woman. His woman is just running rampant free. And this is a woman that is not just a woman, it's his wife. She has pledged herself to him. They have a kid together that are just off somewhere. No one knows. No one seems to care. Who now, by the way, has hit puberty. Okay, so now the best thing about Jonathan Kent was his innocence. That naivete, that quality that like you find in Bill Watterson comics, Calvin and Hobbes, just so charming. And now that's gone. We're going to get teenage Kent. Ugh. Oh, God. If he comes back and says, my name's Connor now, and they like meld the two characters, I would not be surprised. Because we know Connor's coming back. I hate it. I mean, there was qualities to this book where I can admit as a comic book, in a vacuum, this is well written. The scene is really well done. Like this art, I pointed these out. This is fantastic. But I hate this book. I hate it. Like, Bendis is effing up Superman. It's not is an issue. Is a quality of writing. It's not nearly the joke that the last issue was. But it's a terrible Superman story. If that makes sense. You can be good writing and then F up the characters. And that's what's happening here. And it's insidious. I'm really kind of angry the way I think about this. I don't know what else to say. This is what I thought, except it's not roast worthy. It's rant worthy. It's just, I'm angry. I see this, and this is fake. This is what you thought Lois and Clark had. This was that pure love when they were the whites, and the living on the ranch with their Jonathan, and they had the pure wholesome family. They loved each other. They dropped all the trappings of the big city and the nonsense behind. And Lois realized, being a good woman and a mother was more important than being a high-profile journalist. Even though it's a good career and it can be an important career, but it's not at that level. And she's married to the best man on the planet, and she's doing this to him. It infuriates me. And as someone who has been through, hardships with women and been mistreated or whatever, I empathize with Clark so much, and I hate to see him put in this position. And we as readers should not see Superman at this level. He's an aspirational hero that we should all want to strive to be. And at this point, there's all these aspects of him that I don't want to be. I'm just going to babble on forever and ever, so I'm going to end this. Please leave your comments below. Tell me what you have to say. If you read this comic, please give me your feedback. I would love to hear it. I do these reviews for that purpose, for the conversation. And I hope you got something out of this. And thank you so much for your time watching. Bye.